before the war began in Northeast Ohio, that a lot of times it doesn't feel like we get heard. And I heard that sentiment before. It can get very frustrating. And I was thinking about what I was going to say today, and I'll just read it to you or tell you about it and let you see if this doesn't fit in. I think God works that way. The First Amendment to the United States Constitution states, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Certainly we gathered here have grievances we'd like our government to address.
Woo!
Mr. Joan Chittister has written, what we do not grieve, we cannot reclaim. And I thought that was profound. What we do not grieve, we cannot reclaim. So let us not be ashamed to grieve. It's easier sometimes in the excitement of a rally to have emotions such as frustration and rage or even hopelessness. But through all the noise, I think what we're really doing is grieving. So let us name and embrace our losses, and I'd like to list a few of those. We have much to grieve. We grieve for our sons and daughters who are being sacrificed to lay a foundation for a corrupt U.S. administration's legacy. And if we are truly peacemakers, we grieve for the loss of nearly 1 billion innocent Iraqi victims who are considered unfortunate collateral costs of the war, so dehumanized that they are not even recognized through accurate recording of the casualty counts. We don't know how many there are. We think there are 100,000, then we think there are 200,000. A recent study said there are over 700,000. We don't know. And our government doesn't want us to know. We grieve the loss of our civil liberties, freedom of speech, the right to peaceably assemble without fearing the strong arm of the law, who interprets any dissenting view, no matter how peacefully presented, as a possible act of terrorism. And those of us who know about American Friends Service Committee in Northeast Ohio, we were spied upon by the U.S. government and got the documents, and the documents said we were terrorists. We're Quakers.
What?
It's scary. It's scary. We grieve for our children and our children's children who will inherit a broken nation struggling under a massive weight of debt, a shattered environment, a healthcare system that the World Health Organization ranks as 37 in the world, and an educational system that fails to prepare all of its children for their futures. And we grieve the loss of goodwill and mutual respect of our fellow nations. And we grieve the martyrs of the peace movement who have lost hope and energy to continue the fight. We recently lost Cindy Sheehan, who was right there in the front. This whole thing just wore her out. But it's up to us to pick up the banner. What we do not grieve, we cannot reclaim. And what I'd like to do is take a moment and have everybody take a moment of silence and think about that. Have you grieved, or are you still frustrated and angry and hopeless? Because once you grieve, once you name that thing that you grieve about all that's happening right now, then action can happen. So let's take a moment of silence, if we will. it might take a little longer than just here in the park for a few minutes. But I do encourage everyone to do that, because once having grieved, we will reclaim our right to hold government responsible for the atrocities of this war. Having grieved, we will reclaim our civil liberties, our freedom of speech, and our right to peaceably assemble without fear. Having grieved, we will reclaim our nation and a world for our children and our children's children that is free from debt, sensitive to our fragile environment, with health care and education opportunities for all. Having grieved, we will reclaim the goodwill and mutual respect of our fellow nations. And having grieved, we will have the strength to carry on the banner of justice and peace in the name of those who have gone before us and for the future. For we are not powerless. If we let it, our grief empowers us. So I encourage you, let that emotion, as we've been talking about emotions here today, let that emotion envelop you as well. And keep up the good fight. It's so encouraging to see you here. Thank you.